How's it going, guys? Today I wanted to run through my full butt and leg workout that I do 2 times per week and the workout that I've been doing for a long period of time to grow my legs. This is genuinely the most requested video I've ever had, so I thought I'd give it to you guys and run through the entire workout. So that includes my warm-up, stretching routine alongside all of the sets, reps and exercises I do in the workout. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. But first things first, before any workout, we of course have to have our pre-workout shake. I'll have 5 grams of creatine and a scoop and a half of pre-workout. This time I'm going with OxyShred Hardcore as my pre-workout. I thought I could do with a little extra caffeine to get me through this leg day, so I went with the new flavour of the OxyShred Hardcore, and that is watermelon candy. This is genuinely one of the best tasting pre-workouts I've ever had, and it is a must for leg day. As per usual, you can visit the EHP link in the description below and use code Harrison for 10% off your order. I'll leave the specific link for this pre-workout as the top link in the description. Getting straight into the workout now, and the first thing we're going to do is our warm-up, beginning with a 10-minute brisk pace walk on the treadmill just to get some blood into the legs. You don't have to go crazy fast here or do it for too long, it's just to wake those legs up. Next, we're going into the second part of our warm-up, and that is some static stretches. I don't like to spend too long on the static stretches pre-workout just because we want to keep our legs moving at this point. So we're going to do a 15-second hold on each of these movements for 1 set. Don't be afraid to pause the video or re-watch it if you want to see how to do these stretches with the absolute best form. Starting with a glute stretch, as you can see here, and that is followed by a cat-cow stretch. You want to be nice and slow with this one. You should feel this on your lower back, which we're going to get a lot of activation with in our first exercise, which you'll see in a second. Before going into a child's pose, this will stretch out your shoulders and once again your lower back. And then we'll finish off with a runner's lunge straight into a kneeling hamstring stretch to make sure we're all good to go. Next, we'll go into some dynamic stretches. We want to be doing 2 variations of leg swings. The first set of leg swings to the front and the second set of leg swings across body. Before finishing off our stretching with a full leg stretch, starting off with toe touches to stretch our hamstrings, and then a bodyweight squat to get our quads and glutes moving, and then straight into a groin stretch. Here we're focusing on pushing the outside of our elbows into the inside of our knees. Warm up is done, and that should only take you around 15 minutes, but trust me, it is worth it, especially if you want to get the most out of your leg day and those sweet, sweet booty gains. Into the first movement, and we're beginning with a compound exercise. A compound exercise is basically a movement that involves 2 or more muscle groups when being performed, and that compound exercise is the absolute king of leg exercises, as I've said in a previous video, and that is the barbell squat. To warm up for this exercise, we're going to do 3 warm-up sets, beginning with just the bar and then gradually increasing the weight until we get to our working weight. We're going to be doing this movement for 3 working sets in a 4 to 6 rep range, so if you can hit 6 reps, that should tell you to increase the weight, and if you can only do 4 reps, you should lower the weight for your next set. Between sets, we'll have 3 minutes rest, which probably sounds like a lot, but it's definitely needed. I'm not going to go into too much depth here on the barbell squat, as I did go through this on a previous video, which I've popped up at the bottom of the screen here. But the basics are to focus on your breathing, make sure you've got a good shoulder width stance, and make sure you're getting a good range of motion where your glutes go as low down as either parallel or just below parallel before exploding up in the second part of the movement. Exercise number 2, and we're going into a lying leg curl. If at your gym you don't have access to the lying variation, then the seated variation is a great alternative. And if I'm completely honest, I swap between the 2 depending on how much I'm enjoying each exercise at the time. With this movement, once again, we're doing 3 working sets after 1 warm-up set, and our rep range for this one is going to be 8 to 12 reps with 2 minutes rest between sets. With the lying hamstring curl, I really want you to focus on slowing down the negative part of exercise. This is the part of the movement where your ankles are going away from your butt, and this is so the hamstrings are under tension for longer. I also want you to focus on getting your heels as close to your butt as possible during the first part of the movement so we can get a full range of motion. Exercise number 3 is a single leg extension. I like to do at least 1 single leg movement for the quads so that we can stay away from any imbalances from leg to leg. I'm doing this on a plate loader machine, but you can do this on a pin loader machine if you don't have access to the plate version. With the leg extension, we're doing 2 sets this time of 8 to 12 reps with 1 minute 30 seconds between each set after you have finished both legs. And all of the emphasis for this movement is on the quads. To keep the tension on the quads throughout this movement, I like to have minimal rest between each rep, and I really like to squeeze at the top of the movement. Exercise number 4 is the abductor machine, and this is an incredible exercise for your butt. This is a glute isolation, meaning basically all emphasis is on the glutes, and this can genuinely be a game changer when it comes to growing that peach. We're doing this straight after the single leg extension and the lying leg curl to get as little hamstring and quad activation as possible, because to be honest, these should be fatigued from the last 2 movements. And therefore, we should get a really good amount of glute activation. With this movement, we're doing 3 sets of 10 to 15 reps, so a slightly higher rep range, and we're going to be having 2 minutes rest between each set. With the abductor, we're focusing on the squeeze at the top of the movement. I like to hold for around half a second, as you can see, and I like to focus on my glutes the entire time. When performing this exercise, you want to be really focusing on engaging those glutes and putting minimal focus on the other areas of your legs. On to exercise number 5 now, and we're going into another hamstring based movement, and this is a single leg standing hamstring curl. If you don't have access to this machine, you can do a very similar variation on the cables with a strap wrapped around your ankle. This is another single leg movement, once again taking away any imbalances from leg to leg, but this time for the hamstrings instead of the quads. For this exercise, we're doing 2 sets of 8 to 12 reps with 1 minute 30 seconds rest in between sets. With the single leg hamstring curl, you should be focusing on the same cues as the lying leg curl from earlier in the workout, focusing on slowing down the negative and getting your heel as close to your glutes as possible on the positive. For our finisher exercise, exercise number 6, we are doing another movement from my favorite butt exercises video, and this is the Bulgarian split squat. We're doing this movement on the Smith machine for more stabilization this time, but obviously you can do this movement with dumbbells if you don't have access to a Smith machine. With the Bulgarian split squat, we're doing 3 sets of 8 reps each leg with 1 minute rest between each set after finishing both legs. Once again, similar to the squats, I won't go into too much depth on this one as I've already covered it previously. But the main cues are once again focusing on your breathing, getting your knee as close to the ground as you comfortably can to get a good range of motion, and adjusting your stride length based on whether you want more glute or quad activation. When it comes to the calves, I tend to hit these every day now other than on my leg days. This is because they're such a weak body part for me and therefore I really need to focus on growing them. So with the calves, I'll simply do either a standing or seated calf raise, either on a machine or using dumbbells. And I tend to do about 12 sets per week on these because they just simply need to grow and they need to grow fast. After my workout, I'll generally do quite a slow walk once again, just to sort of have my cool down period. And to make sure my recovery is faster, I like to do around 10 minutes of static stretches post-workout. And these stretches will be the same stretches that you would have saw in the pre-workout warm-up. So that's it, guys. You're all set for your next leg day. As per usual, if you guys enjoyed the video, make sure to hit the like button, make sure to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell so you never miss an upload. I'll catch you in the next one. Big love, H.